Hi everybody, I am going to make today a little note holder inspired by Robin Earhart, and it's very cute. It's this, you take a mousetrap and you convert it to a note holder, and this will hold a little piece of, it has a magnet on the back, and it will hold a notepad right inside of it. And you can just hang it on your fridge or wall or whatever. So anyway, I think these are really cute and a lot of fun to put together, so we're going to do that today. So that being said, the first thing to do is disassemble the mousetrap. So you're going to take everything off of the mousetrap, and you're going to keep just the bail and the spring. You can keep the hoop that holds that little lever that triggers the mousetrap, or keeps the mousetrap in the triggered position if you want to. Leave the hoops on though for sure for the part that holds down that bail and spring. You don't want to damage those. So the next step is to take some paper, and the last one I did was a fall theme. This one I'm going to do is going to be more of a Christmas theme. So pick out your paper and then pick a contrasting paper for the back to cover the back and the magnet. You're going to measure the mousetrap then and cut the paper to fit the top of the mousetrap, but also around the edges into the back so that you can miter the corners and put that contrasting piece of paper on the back. I use my paper cutter here, but I've also put together a Cricut template. If you have Cricut, then you can just go to that template for this mousetrap and get the paper cut to the right size. And then what I need to do is take Mod Podge, and you can also just paint this if you wanted to. You could paint this with acrylic paint and not Mod Podge paper onto it, but I kind of like that, so that's what I'm going to do. I left this in case you haven't seen somebody Mod Podge or decoupage onto wood before, but you put the glue on the wood surface and on the paper and put that down. I smooth it out with my bone folder to make sure there's no air gaps, and just continue that process. Putting the glue on the surface that I'm going to attach the paper to, then putting glue on the paper, and then using my bone folder to push that down and make sure there's no air bubbles. So it's pretty straightforward. You can see me putting the contrasting backing piece on here, and then I clean it up with scissors. And then I inked the edges to give it more of a rustic and worn vibe. And then finally you're going to do a coat of Mod Podge over the entire surface of the paper, just to make sure that it is really well sealed. Hi, okay, everything is dried, and so the magnet is on here, sturdy, and the Mod Podge that I put on the outside is dry. So now we're going to decorate, and I got out some of my Christmassy winter decorations, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is put some lace around the outside edge all the way around, and give it a little bit of a border. And to do that, I'm going to use my A-lanes again, so this just works well for me. All right, you're going to run a bead of glue around the outside edge and then tack down the lace. Make sure you have enough to get around the corners with a little bit of, you can see me mitering that corner there so it isn't stretched taut, and it goes around the corner in a nice way. And then when you get to the end, you're going to use some fabric fusion to glue the raw edges of the lace together and trim it to size. After that, I'm going to use these wintry Christmassy decorations I had in my stash to finish decorating the top of the mousetrap. You want to leave the bottom of it somewhat free of decoration, or put in some flat decorations so that you can put your notepad. If you're not going to put on a notepad, then go crazy and decorate it as much as you want. I'm going to use these to hold notepads, so I wanted to leave that area free for writing. So I'm putting some bling on, and that big rose, and that word peace there. I'm attaching everything with that Aleene's glue. Even though the rose and the peace sign are self-adhesive, I don't want them coming off, so I'm making sure that those get adhered and dry really thoroughly before I proceed to play around with it much more. I then reattach the spring and the bail there through the loops of wire. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's really pretty. So check out Robin's tutorial on this as well. And if you like this type of content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And if you do the project, I'd love to see it. Tag me on Instagram. Hope you guys have a great holiday and enjoy the project. Take care. Bye.